Get right into what is going on. There is so much happening right now that is so exciting. With the central bank and the corrupt politicians and all the stuff that's happening, I am just excited to be here to be able to expose that too. And what are they trying to do? They're trying to bring the economy down. What's going on right now? In Florida, Governor DeSantis wrote an executive order saying that they're going to open up the entire state, so they can't be penalized for not wearing a mask. Businesses can now reach 50% capacity. Businesses are now open. Everything can open. So what's that going to do to the economy in Florida? It's going to explode, really. Think about it, when people can go back out. I mean, when other states start to do what Florida's doing, what do you think is going to happen? The economy is going to soar. It's so exciting, really. When I think about it, without the restrictions, the retail shoots up. We're tired. We're all tired of staying in our houses, right? So as this all starts and the restrictions start to be removed and people become more familiar with the real statistics and how this has been blown up in this, I'm telling you what, the fear porn has got to stop, because the truth is coming out. Even the CDC, the WHO, they're all saying that this is nothing more than a flu. And as this continues to be exposed to people who are open to seeing the other side, because again, remember, the one side has just got media that's covering this other, keeping you scared, keeping you locked up. But you know what? As Governor DeSantis did as an example in Florida, and then all the other states start to open up like this, and the economy starts to soar, forget it. And people really are tired of all this. So I just making some notes here. I just want to keep myself on track. There's more and more people out there in the restaurants. They're in the beaches. The economy's starting to fly. Jobs are coming back. People are excited. There's a recovery. And as we approach this election, it's going to get better and better and better. And with tonight, we have our first debate. Every state is going to start to follow in suit to Florida, in my opinion. Everything's coming back. I mean, the people are going, what are you going to do when you go out to eat? You're going to spend. You're going to spend. That's what. And by the way, I want to say this. I want you to understand this is very, very important. We must support local businesses. So your mom and pop, go to the mom and pop hardware store. Forget about these big conglomerates and stop buying stuff made from China. It's really that simple. Matter of fact, some of these big conglomerates, all of their product comes from there. Why are we supporting other countries? So many other states are going to follow in suit. There's going to be some that are not going to be opened. They're going to keep them locked down, and they're going to try to, but it's so obvious if we would just open our eyes. There's so many. I think a lot of states are going to follow in suit to what Florida did, and Governor DeSantis did a great thing. So we're going to start to see people, and people are starting to get smart, by the way. The recovery for this pandemic, this is 99.999% for most of the people. People are out shopping. People are not getting this. People are not dying from this, I should say. Yes, are the cases up? Yes, but have they gone ahead and put the gazillion tests out there? Imagine if we did that every flu season. There'd be a gazillion cases of it. But yet people die from things. Obviously people die even from the flu. But the recovery rate is 99.999%. It's like crazy. The number of people that the death rate's 0.00. It's ridiculous. There's just no problem. That's why we're going to see the economy start to improve. It is improving. Matter of fact, Texas, Ohio, forget it. As a matter of fact, Texas, their manufacturing shut up. Everything's going so well. The growth rate's going up. I remember there was a case in Ohio where, forget the date, the year, but they wanted to close. I'll get the information. They wanted to close a plant, a car plant. And Trump went in and said, no, don't do that. They were going to close it and all these jobs were going to be lost. This is in Ohio. And they ended up making an electric car like a Jeep, like the first four-wheel drive. I'll do some more homework on this, but maybe you guys know, you can actually put it in the comments. The first four-wheel drive, like a Tesla, like an electric car. But what's different about this particular one is that it's motorized in each of the wheels. Each of the wheels are motorized in this thing. It's pretty cool. And it kept all of the jobs in Ohio at that particular plant. It kept everybody, the economy continued, and it kept the jobs here. Guys, we got to keep jobs in our country. We've got to stop relying on other countries. It's really that simple, isn't it? So, gosh, there's so much, so interesting what's going on. All this, during this whole time, all this chaos that's been going on. You want to know what President Trump's been using this as a weapon against the deep state players, the central bank. He's been watching this and using it to his advantage, because if he went in as this tyrannical leader, as they expected him to, and shut everything down, and he's offered their help, they don't want it. So you see what these left type governors are doing to their cities, but he's offered the help. He can help them. They don't want the help, and they're exposing themselves. And that's exactly what needs to happen. So sometimes you can't tell people what's going on. Oh my gosh, I just got another, hold on, this is interesting. Let's see what this, I get this, people send me stuff constantly. Boom, 3 White House Judiciary Dems hit with corruption charges. Oh, okay, I think this might have been what I just shared with you. This is hot off the press coming to me right now. 3 House Judiciary Dems hit with corruption charges. Who are they? Dun, 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 dun. 3 House Judiciary members named in the complaint are Reps Madeline Dean, Democratic Pennsylvania, Pramila Jayapal, Democratic in Washington, and Lucy McBeth, Democrat in Georgia. The complaint was filed with the Office of Congressional Ethics as a laundry list of possible campaign fundraising violations. It goes on and on. All of this corruption is going to come out. Guys, I don't want to get off on a major sidetrack, but it's interesting, just as I'm speaking to you, some of this stuff I just get a text on. So let's see. Oh, I took a note. It was the 2018 was when they were going to, it was a GM plant. I don't have good notes on it. I'll get back to you on this whole thing with the car. The electric car was so awesome because he kept all of those jobs. That's the key. The economy is exploding. You know, and the thing is that with that, and of course tonight's debate is going to be, I believe it's in Ohio, right? We want to keep that in prayer, guys. Keep it in prayer, safety, the blood of Jesus over the place. But my goodness, in Ohio, they still have that manufacturing plant that got no jobs were lost. It's amazing. It's so good. Really good stuff is happening, guys. I get excited about it. Anyway, what else do I have for you guys today? I want to stay on point here as best I can. This is, all right. Oh, I did write the motor's engines are in the wheels. That reminds me of a Bible scripture. I'm going to have to look that up. Good. I'm going to look that up. But it's a whole different type of car, like an electric car that has an engine in each of the wheels. Like, I don't know, I'll look into it a little bit more for you, but it's just like interesting because it kept all those jobs. I think that's what's important. We got to remember that we have to keep our country, depend on our own country, right? Stop depending on other companies. And I'm telling you what, Trump didn't step in and save all those. I mean, they want to close the plant, and now he stepped in and saved it. All those people would have lost their jobs. This is why it's important to kind of look as a critical thinker, because they're saying all sorts of stuff that's like not true. So it's important that you realize that. Let's see, what else do I have for you? Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, well, oh, they're talking about the tax returns too. It's so interesting. They want Trump's tax returns, and finally a prosecutor in New York gets the tax returns, leaks it to the New York Times. I just wonder if that was done on purpose. You know what I mean? So he leaks it to the New York Times, and you know what they found with the tax returns? Nothing. absolutely nothing. They're still talking about $750, but remember there's a tweet out. Somebody tweeted and they had read, I got to read the article. Read the article the New York Times put out, because quite honestly, it says that in 2016, Trump paid $1 million in taxes, and in 2017 he paid $4.2 million in taxes, and the $750 was an additional amount. So, and the other thing that was just, Trump even made a notation today that he gave up his $400,000 a year salary, and it was pointing out how Trump's wealth was going down while others come in that aren't wealthy, and they get all this money, they get all this wealth being in. So the ballots, let's see, supposedly are due by the 8 p.m. mark on the election. We're seeing a lot of corrupt things happening with ballots right now. You can actually just scroll around and find all this stuff. Although I did mention a movie last night that is proving that people who believe one way don't get the other side of the story. So you might want to make sure that you're following everything so you can actually know what's going on here. So what else? There's no Russian collusion with Trump. Nothing wrong with his taxes. It's like they just keep, don't you think that if there was something they could find, they would find it and hammer him? But there's nothing. There's nothing. It's unbelievable. So let's see, what else do I have? It's so exciting. I'm excited to see the debate tonight too. We want to continue to pray for, safety. So what's the truth? What is the truth? I'm like thinking to myself, we have been living under such a delusion. There's been such a delusion that it's hard to comprehend, like, that we've been lied to, right? I told you guys that back in the early 1900s, there was the development of a very evil thing. And I know that I told you the Federal Reserve was retaken over by Trump back in March, that corrupts society. I mean, if you think about it, they're printing money, but there's no backing. Like, there's no backing of gold on the money. So it's like they're loaning pieces of paper with notables on it, charging interest, and then it's just nuts. It's really such a corrupt and evil thing that we don't need, and it's wrong. Like, think about it. It's caused us to have two family members working, putting kids in childcare, just all this. It's like we're in jail, like we're current day slaves. We didn't have to have it like this. We didn't have to have payment plans. We didn't have to go into debt. We didn't have to have two people working, as I said. We didn't have to have the dollar. The dollar lost all of its value with inflation, and then pay all these taxes. This is going to be such a wake-up call. People are going to start to see the truth, and this is some central bank does not want anyone to see. And I'm telling you right now, we've got to wake up, but Trump's trapped them. And I'm telling you, many countries have capitulated to him. So I'm telling you, we really have to pray right now, because there's an obvious evil side. There's an obvious good side. There's an obvious side that stands for life. There's an obvious side that doesn't. There's an obvious side that stands for freedom and patriotism. And there's an obvious side that doesn't. Think about it. When you think about the flag, the American flag, if you have an American flag, it's like that they're voting for Trump. Is that weird? That's weird, guys. We're all Americans. And then the whole invasion into our education system. They've invaded our education system, and they've been teaching these doctrines that are not true, that are anti-American right in our schools. I mean, this is crazy, you guys. We just really all have to wake up. We really do, and realize that our country's at stake. This world is at stake because our country is holding it on its shoulders. And right now we're at the brink of exposing all of this evil. So we really need to step in and pray and that righteousness would continue to, of course, prevail, and that the corruption continues to be exposed, because that's what's happening right now. The corruption is being exposed. And that, to me, I don't know about you, I get very excited about it. So why do I do all this? Like, I want you to become more aware. Like, I actually told you too about the fact that like, even like people are asking me about the fiat system, like what's going to happen, and is there a reset? Is that really happening right now? What's going on with the, I can just tell you with the study and the work, what I've done as far as studying. They want to get rid of this whole fiat and the money, and they want to go more like Bitcoin and more online like that. But I'm telling you, I have a feeling that Trump's doing something a little bit different than that. I have a feeling that he's going to do something that will be more comfortable, that people aren't going to just wake up and all of a sudden we're trying to do this online thing and have everything go with paper. What am I trying to say? The XRP, what am I trying to say, guys? I thought I took a note on this. So important, really. Let me just give me a second. The quantum financial system, like this digital, that's what I was looking for. The digital currency. Like, are we really going to just go digital like that and freak everybody out that doesn't really know about it or how it works? And I just feel that what's going to happen, because again, remember, nothing is backed by gold. There's no real gold standard. So the fiat currency, this is what I feel is going to happen. I feel that it's going to be, and this, I was listening to somebody, an intel source, I believe is on Charlie Ward, which I would recommend you follow him as well. And by the way, you can follow me. That would be great. Then you get a ding every time I go live, so you know when I'm live, and bringing me information or prayer or whatever, prayer points. Right now we have to fight for our country. But as far as I can see, this is what I feel that's going to happen. There's going to be a transference of our dollars so that we're not completely dollarless and everybody freaks out and it's online. I think that we're going to transfer the dollars. And I think I've told you in the past that there's been some invasions and things into the Vatican and into the royal palace, and you do your homework, okay? They're empty right now. Just do your own homework on all that, because I don't have time to get into that right now. But what I'll tell you is that their evil side was hoarding the gold, and they had so much gold, quadrillions. I can't even say the words. Like, there's so much that would back the currency of the world, that I believe that what's going to happen is each dollar is going to have a backing by gold. So that dollar for dollar, there's going to be a backing. So in other words, there's not going to be more money printed than is backed by gold. So it's going to be valid, and it's going to be totally transferred slowly to this system. So, FYI, I just feel with everything in me, I feel that's the transfer that's going to happen. It's going to be, I'm hearing about people having their debts forgiven, like Jubilee, there's like a forgiving of debts. And I feel that a lot of that has to do with the fact that we have been enslaved all this time with this garbage of loaning fake money that's not real. And then they're charging us interest. And it's just been so corrupt that this is all coming out. And that's why I'm saying, we're starting to hear that. So I was praying, because, I've heard people say 1 million people's debts have been, so I'm gonna let you listen to this. I mean, it doesn't expose anybody, but this woman, so I was praying for somebody that I knew. Let me just find my voice memos here. And that I knew that would be able to, that I would hear of somebody local or somebody I knew that would have a debt cancellation. So I'm going to pull this up and I'm going to play it for you. What had happened, just to give you a background, is this person's, and people say, well, if that's true, why aren't people talking about it? Well, I'm going to tell you why people aren't talking about it. They're not talking about it because they're afraid that if they say, hey, my mortgage was forgiven or something, student loan was forgiven, they're afraid that they're exposing themselves, that they'll come back and find them out and then maybe reinstate it. I don't know. I mean, right? I mean, it's almost like, whoop, you don't want to tell anybody. Well, anyway, listen, this is what I got. Okay. Hold on a second. It's not playing right. I'll come back to it. It was just, this woman had 3 months of her payments that were, I think it was 3 months she didn't pay her payments. And then it said, that the balance was going to be paid. She has to pay back the balance of her student loans. I don't understand why this isn't working. So this is the weirdest thing. I'm going to play this next time for you then. But anyway, the balance wasn't paid, and because she missed her payments. And then what they said was a petition to extend it. And if the petition is accepted, that they won't have, then her debt's going to be forgiven. Yeah, I got to get this to play. Hold on a second. Oops. Oh. Hold on a second, guys. It's so screwed up. I just dropped it. Hold on. I want you to hear this so badly. Oh yeah, here it goes. Figure it out. Okay, let me back it up. This means you will need to pay back the balance of your student loans after the suspension is over. A petition is set to be filed on your behalf to extend the suspension of payments indefinitely, meaning you will then have a $0 balance. Press 5 on your phone now if you are with. All right, did you hear that? So it's going to be, I'm going to replay it. Payments for a few months. This means you will need to pay back the balance of your student loans after the suspension is over. A payments indefinitely, meaning you will then have a $0 balance. That cool? All right, so I finally found somebody that actually had that happen, and I got excited because I'm hearing it, and I want my own proof that it really happened. And so then I went to my little Bible study and gathered with my other people, and this person said that she had it, and she pulled out her phone and played that. That was the message they left on her answering machine. And I asked her with her permission, I said, can I record that? Because I want to be able to, if you have had that happen, let me know. I mean, because it's just exciting to me that, potentially we're in this jubilee where we're going to see that happen. And again, we have to have the right people in power. We have to really make sure you're voting for righteousness. Make sure that the people that you're voting for stand for life. They stand for freedom. They stand for choice. We do not want tyrannical. We do not want tyrannical people. Oh my gosh, somebody else just sent me. What is happening right now? You will not believe this. Listen, only 350. Again, that was about vaccines. So I'm thinking to myself, what? The vaccines. Like, that should be a choice. It's not something that anybody should mandate. Like, that's what I'm trying to say, is we need to have our freedoms, and we need to stand on the Constitution. Like, what are they doing? If you're voting for somebody that's going to take away your Second Amendment right, or First Amendment, listen, they're already, freedom of speech is like, my goodness, you're so censored. It's just nutty how censored we are. So it's very important that you vote appropriately. Wake up. Wake up. They have come into our country and taken over our education, and have now our youth and the kids are now believing that there's something wrong with our, like, the last president was apologizing for our country all the time. It was so uncomfortable for me. I was like, what are you apologizing for? We have the greatest country. And by the way, if anybody was leaving a communist country, they always come here. You always hear these stories how they come here. Meanwhile, and they'll say, without America, there's no place to run. There's no place to run. We are the last free. And again, with the capitulation and the agreement, I believe there's a worldwide, we've got a peace agreement with Israel. Guys, this is so huge. So we've got this whole, so many good people. Why is this happening? Because there's good people who can see through this. My goodness, we really have to wake up. So anyway, let's do this. Let's close this and end this in prayer. I have so much I want to bring to you. So that's what I feel is going to happen with the money, by the way. I feel like that's going to happen. I feel like the fiat system will stay in place at least for a bit. And there's going to be a reval. There's going to be parity across so in other words, parity. $10 here will be $10 in Germany. It'll be $10 wherever we can purchase, for all the countries that are coming into agreement to work like this together. So it's going to be amazing. Like, the world is going to be an amazing place to be. But we have to remember that our votes count. Like, who we are electing, it matters. Because if they're not standing for righteousness, if they're not standing for freedom, if you're looking for, it wasn't meant to be this way. They made it this way. I'm going to tell you what, that whole banking system and this whole facade of printing paper and loaning it for interest it was printed paper. They're printing the money and loaning it, charging us interest. And that's why we're in debt and we have loans and we're like slaves. Now you have two people working, and that's not how it was supposed to be, guys. It's not supposed to be like that. And then the idolization of people on TV and Hollywood and all these fans and these sports figures. And you know what? They're all exposing themselves right now to how some of them, I mean, you're going to see more and more unsealed indictments. You're going to see more and more things come out that's going to blow your mind. And as all of this exposure starts to happen, and you're going to start to see who's behind all this evil, and some of the evil, like I recommend don't look too closely into it, but I'm telling you, the hashtag, these people are sick. They are sick. And so the people that are involved in it, though, I don't know if you noticed, but there's a lot of people who have become very silent or have run. You find them, they're in different countries, or they're trying to escape from this. I'm telling you, there's going to be a lot of people locked up if the right people get it. It does matter who gets in, because I'm going to tell you what, if President Trump doesn't get back in, a lot of this will be forgotten and it'll go under the rug, just like it's been in the past, and there's been cover up. Guys, we need this all exposed, and we need it exposed so that the world can see what's going on. We really do. And that way we can actually move ahead with righteousness and the right people and not have all of this evil that's been prevailing. So fight the good fight. That's why I'm sharing online like this with you guys. I want people to come into the knowledge of the truth, because the truth is what sets us free. You know what? The darkness flees if there's a dark room and you turn on the light, the darkness flees, right? That's kind of what I'm saying. So anyway, I hope that helps. God, Father, I pray for your blood cover over these people, that Jesus, you took our infirmities on the cross, that you would heal our lands, that you would heal these people. And 2 Chronicles 7:14 says, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray, turn from their wicked ways and seek my face, then I will hear from heaven and heal their land. He wants to heal our land. We've got to pray. We've got to repent for this nation. It was a huge prayer meeting. It was amazing up in Washington, D.C. I don't know if you guys saw this. I was watching it online. But just seek those things which are above, where Christ is sitting at the right hand of God. Set your mind on things above, not on things in the earth. Although we live here, and we're to occupy until he returns. We're to occupy righteousness. Stop the silence. I bind all fear, and I bind the silencing. You guys speak up. Do not fear. For you died and your life is hidden with Christ in God, right? You were dead to ourselves, right? When Christ, who is our life, appears, then you also will appear with him in glory. Therefore, put to death your members which are on the earth: fornication, uncleanness, passion, evil desire, covetousness, which is idolatry. Because of these things, the wrath of God is coming upon the sons of disobedience, in which you yourselves once walked when you lived in them. So before you come to know the Lord, you don't even know the difference between right and wrong, right? It's like he exposes it. It's the light. It's the light. But now you yourselves are to put off all of these: anger, wrath, malice, blasphemy, filthy language out of your mouth. Do not lie to one another. My gosh, I hate lying. I hate all this. Since you have put off the old man with his deeds and have put on the new man, who is renewed in knowledge according to the image of him who created him. So guys, therefore, as the elect of God, holy and beloved, put on tender mercies, kindness, humility, meekness, long-suffering, bearing with one another and forgiving one another. If anyone has a complaint against another, even as Christ forgave you, so you also must do. But above all these things, put on love, which is the bond of perfection. And let the peace of God rule in your hearts, to which you are called in one body, and be thankful. Let the word of Christ dwell in you richly in all wisdom, teaching and admonishing one another in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing with grace in your hearts to the Lord. And whatever you do in word or deed, do all in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, giving thanks to God the Father through him. And it says, and whatever you do, do it heartily, as if unto the Lord, not to men. So Father, I pray a blessing over everybody that's listening. I hope that this blessed you and you learned something today. Remember to subscribe and like it, and then you'll get notifications when I'm live. Okay, everybody? God bless. God, and ask ourselves, others focus, who can I help today?